Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Road to Worlds 24. I've got a load of notes written down. Basically, this series is probably going to be either changing or being replaced going forwards. So I've been doing quite a lot of thinking recently, and there's a lot of things that kind of combine to make this decision make sense. So I'll start off with the meta, the meta thing that's happening. I've kind of decided with the world's situation and going for the championship points and things that I'm less going to go for the event unless some miracle absolutely happens, and more going for the invite at this stage. I talked about this in a previous video once we knew where the location of Worlds was, and this was always going to be somewhat of a factor for like whether we ended up going or not. Long story short, it's going to be a very expensive trip. It's going to be one that, as weird as it's going to sound, probably isn't one I would enjoy. And honestly, in my first season, I think the pressure of going to Worlds is kind of a ridiculous thing to put on myself, if that makes sense. I've spoken to a couple of friends about this, and more recently I've spoken to Murdo, who you all know. I've started thinking about my Pokemon TCG career, for want of a better phrase, as something akin to like Formula 1. Formula 1 I'm a huge fan of, so the way I'm kind of seeing it now is last season, not that I really had much of a season, was a bit of a testing season, so I got in on a couple of regionals, had a good time, tried out a couple of challenges and cups, and kind of went, yeah, I can see myself enjoying this and doing it as like a more serious thing. And then this year, or this season, I've kind of gone, right, we're starting with, let's say, Williams, the Williams F1 team. And we're kind of starting in a weaker car, maybe not as a strong competitive car, where it does have flashes of brilliance. Not that I feel like I have flashes of brilliance, but you know, there are good results being seen, and then for the most part kind of more towards the back of the field. Does that make sense? That's the way I'm seeing it. Is like I've had some really good results this year so far, or you know, we could do it as a quarter report maybe. I've had 3 top 8s in cups and 1 top 4 in challenges, which in a vacuum for my very first season I think is quite impressive. But my hit rate is absolutely awful at the moment, and part of the reason why the Worlds invite Worlds goal is like kind of adjusting for me a little bit is that I feel like I've not got myself in the correct mental state to go for something like that. So what do I mean by that? Last week I had a bit of a mental breakdown after doing really badly at a second challenge in a week. Rather than going through the results of everything, I will display the results on stream. They'll probably be either there or there. I don't know, they'll be somewhere, but there'll be the reports here. Long story short, we did a cup at Griffin's Gaming. I tried, so actually let's rewind a little bit more. This was a double cup weekend. I did my first ever best of 1 cup, which didn't go well. I was playing Lost Charizard EX. It didn't go well. Deck didn't run like it was supposed to the entire time until the final game, where I was taking on just some poor random dude who was trying out a Houndoom EX deck and absolutely destroyed it, which was quite sad, but you know, it is what it is. And then we went to Griffin's Gaming for the next cup, and that was not great either. I think 3 rounds in, I ended up dropping because I was just doing awful. And luckily they had a second chance challenge, which was really cool. It's the first time I'd ever seen that in the UK. So I went into that and I switched decks. I went for my Rhydon and went into my first game against Mew, and I went second, and I had an amazing start, like absolutely killer start, probably the best you'll ever see Miraidon get. Took a knockout on Mew, went to take my prize cards. I had no prize cards. I forgot to put my prize cards out, so immediately lost the game. It was a best of 1 challenge as well, I should have said, so lost that game. We ended up playing out a second game just for fun. Absolutely fine, no problem. Next game, because I was in a bracket that I shouldn't have been in, ended up going against a lost Tina, got my ass kicked. After that, I went on to win the next game convincingly, and then I won the 4th game absolutely brilliantly. So I ended up 2-2-0. So the deck kind of proved itself, but I proper let myself down on that for getting my prize cards. It was such a stupid mess up. And I was like, cool, okay, right, it's a learning experience, remember for next time, but now we know Miraidon's a fun deck to play. Let's take that to the next challenge, which was the same week period. At my first game, I nearly forgot my prize cards, and I think if I wasn't playing my partner, I probably would have, like, completely not... I don't think my opponent may have told me about it, depending on who I was, and I could have completely messed up another game. Luckily, it's best of 3, so it's not such a big issue, but I ended up winning that game. Game 2, I shuffled my deck, I put my hand down, shuffled my deck, and then ended up just, like, fat-thumbing it, or whatever, and just threw my deck across the field. Like, just absolutely covered my own field, and I had my hand face down as well over here. So, like, I didn't know what was what anymore. And I was like, this is irreparable. I can't fix this game state. I think this will be a game loss. So I just scooped that game and went, well, I know I'm doing really well with this deck. I know I can win. Game 3 will be fine. And I absolutely bricked it. Like, the deck absolutely died on its arse. And I was like, okay, that's fine. It's one game. It's 4 rounds. We can still 3-1 this and have a decent result. And then I went up against Lost Box, and just the deck refused to work both games. And I was just so done with it. I was just like, why the hell have I just thrown away challenge points, like, in two different challenges in 1 week? What the hell is going on? And I just ended up, like, sat on the sofa in the shop and just, like, I couldn't deal with anybody. I just had to sit there and just, like, not talk, because I was either going to scream at somebody or cry. It was one of the two. And this is all a culmination, this is what I'm trying to get to, of, like, absolutely destroying my mental health at the moment, because I am just spamming cups, less so challenges, but spamming cups. We've done a cup every weekend from the start of, maybe the end of July actually, to the end of September, and the results of it are just making me feel so like, genuinely awful all the time. And it's why, so far this month, I haven't done any cups. I ended up taking a week break as well from Pokemon, just try, kind of, like, chill off. Same with the stream, same with, like, creating stuff for YouTube, which is why there's been no original content on YouTube for the last couple of weeks. It's just been really tough, and I've got no one to blame but myself. Like, it's all self-imposed stress of, like, trying to get this Worlds invite that doesn't matter this season. Like, I have no actual intentions of going to the World Championships this year, unless I win a regional, which I don't think is actually possible for someone of my skill level. I can't afford to go to Worlds. It's as simple as that. And that's not me trying to, you know, beg for money or anything ridiculous. Like, I literally can't afford it. So why am I trying? It'd make way more sense to try and go to it in 2025 when it's probably somewhere more reasonable, like Europe. It makes way more sense to do that. So, yeah, it's no one to blame but myself, and I'm not mad at anybody else. I'm mad at myself, and just, like, it's the fact that I forgot prize cards nearly twice in a row. In fact, I did forget them. It's my partner pointing them out. And then throw my deck. Like, I've shuffled my deck a million times. Like, I sit here quite often just doing this. And occasionally I'll throw one card, you know, a couple of cards maybe slip out. I just went, like, that, and just, like, all the cards fell. It was just, I still don't know how I did it. It was ridiculous. So anyway, that's all that out of the way. I think that's all the bad stuff I wanted to talk about as well. And there's positives from the last month and stuff as well. Like, I will say this much, YouTube and Twitch are doing really, really well at the moment. I'm really enjoying the content creation side of Pokemon. It sucks that I have to do it through live, because live is such an annoying client. Like, I don't really play live off stream. As much as I want to test decks, I just can't bring myself to play it because it's such a bad client. But it's been really fun to be able to play with you, the community. Like, the best part of my Pokemon TCG hobby right now is the fact that I get to go on stream twice, 3 times a week, and I don't have to touch the ladder because I've always got awesome people ready to take me on in chat challenges. It's absolutely fantastic, and I'm really enjoying it. And people are really enjoying the YouTube videos too, which is fantastic. So I do have aims to, like, try and put more original content out, and that will definitely happen after Leal. I do want to start putting out original content video a week if I can, as well as the Twitch VODs, Twitch VOD episodes as well. It's all good fun. I'm really enjoying it still, and this is probably the best audience I've ever had as part of my streaming and content creation career. It's been really great. So thank you so much for being there for all these. We've hit like 500, 600 subscribers. We're not too far right now from like 650. We could be on 700 by the end of the month, and that's wild to me. Absolutely wild. Anyway, that's kind of it. That's all I wanted to talk about at the moment. I don't know if I'm going to do any more videos specifically on Road to Worlds, because I think calling the series Road to Worlds is a bit disingenuous if I don't actually have plans on going to the World Championships this season. But Leal is next, and I'm planning on doing like a full vlog, like a travel vlog and result vlog for that. So that'll be fun. That'll be some content coming up. That's in about a week and a half from when this video will be posted. This should be going live Wednesday 11th. Yes, so bit of editing to do, and yeah, hopefully it'll be live. But yeah, it's really put things into perspective for me. I'm kind of annoyed at myself that I've like let my mental health deteriorate this much to where I'm not actually enjoying the game. I am still enjoying the game. I'm finding it really fun, and I'm enjoying the competitive side of it. Like, I enjoy competing. I'm glad I found something I enjoy competing in, if that makes sense. Like, you know, I've tried for years to find stuff that I actually enjoy playing and competing in, and this is the first time that something's actually stuck that I enjoy. So I'm not going anywhere, and I'm certainly going to be trying different cups and challenges still. We've got, like I said, Lille in a couple of weeks. Stuttgart registration will be open the evening this comes out, so I'm going for that. Still doing Liverpool as well. Those are the 3 regionals I'm going for. We'll see where we are on points, but I don't think I'm going to push for any more big tournaments after that, if that makes sense. The points I get from regionals and the points I get from cups and challenges are the ones that are going to count towards this season. And then call it a day. Like, it depends. I could get really lucky. I could place really well in a couple of tournaments and go, cool, now I have prize money that will go into Worlds. I just don't think that's very likely, but we'll keep trying. One of the things I do want to do is try and stick with a deck, and I think I found one I do enjoy. I found one that, like, seems to speak to me. I seem to be running quite well with. So we've actually got focus now. That was another issue of all the cups and challenges of, like, the last 3 months. I've been all over the place. I've not played a deck consistently at all. Like, all my top 8s are with different decks, and that's a positive we should take away as well. Like, I actually did get a top 8 last month as well, with Chempao, which is completely unexpected. I wasn't really expecting to ever play that deck, to be honest, and I did really well with it, so I don't know, maybe that's the calling. Miraidon's still good as well. Like, I really enjoy playing Miraidon. But anyway, we're getting off course a little bit. That is going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Like I said, this series may change, may get replaced, but I still want to talk, you know, kind of monthly about, like, what's going on in Pokemon and stuff like that. For me specifically, I think, you know, I'll be able to look back at this at some point and go, oh, wow, look how stupid and naive I was. Maybe I look back at this particular video and go, yeah, I'm glad I took the pressure of trying to go for Worlds off myself at this point, because this was the turning point in, like, making it to Worlds the following year. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Anyway.